After 15 years away from the stage, Oasis, the biggest band in the world, are set to reunite next summer for a series of stadium shows across the UK and Ireland. But how do we get from this...
We don't like each other, man. A lot of people think we're waiting around, you know what I mean, for like a few more noughts on the end for the thing, but they've already offered us like loads of money, like millions and millions, but not about the money, is it? You know what I mean?
I dare you to call me. I dare you to call me. Actually, that might work. Then the falls out of his trousers, because then you've got to be in the same room as me. And then we both know how that ends up.
To this.
Oasis are getting back together. I am not yanking your chain, seriously. They're getting back together. It's on the front page of the papers today.
These are all the signs that Liam and Noel Gallagher were finally getting the band back together. Did you spot them? Oasis fans, still in disbelief, are quickly dusting off their bucket hats and zipping up their parkas at the news that the famously feuding Gallagher brothers have finally set aside their differences to be the better man and share the stage once more. For years, any talk of a reunion was dismissed as wishful thinking. After all, how could two brothers who couldn't stand to be in the same room be expected to perform together again? Not even the most dedicated fans or famous supporters seemed capable of bringing the band back together.
What are Oasis doing? Can you imagine being in, potentially, right now, still the coolest band in the world and not doing it because you're in a mard with your brother? Stop marding. They're like men of the people. And they're sat around in like Little Venice and Highgate, like crying over an argument with their brother. Grow up. Headline Glastonbury.
And yet, here we are. So what has caused the rock and roll stars to bury the hatchet? Some might say it's the money. The boys are reportedly set to receive anywhere between 50 to 100 million pounds each, depending on who you believe. Nostalgia? Definitely maybe is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year, and it could be a fondness in talking about the better times that helped thaw the frosty relationship. Or maybe it's for the artistic merit. Since the split, both boys have gone supersonic with their individual successes. Noel's high-flying birds material stands up to any recent Oasis album, and Liam's solo work is a force of nature. They went half the world away, refined their talents, and are maybe just eager to bring it all together once again. Before we look at the signs that signalled their return, it's important to go back to the night that the champagne supernova went flat. On August 28, 2009, the rock and roll world was shaken by the news that Oasis was no more. The bad boys of the Britpop era, who had first swaggered onto the music scene in 1994, were officially finished. For those who had been following the band's turbulent last few years together, the split wasn't entirely unexpected. Their relationship had begun to slide away. The simmering tensions between the Gallagher brothers reached a boiling point, leading to the abrupt cancellation of their appearance at the Paris Rock and Scene Festival. Noel Gallagher announced his departure from the band in a statement on Oasis's official website, saying, "It's with some sadness and great relief to tell you that I quit Oasis tonight. People will write and say what they like, but I simply could not go on working with Liam a day longer."
The night in Paris, it was, he didn't turn up for the V Festival gig because he had an hangover. He claimed he had laryngitis, but whatever, And there was a lot of bad press around that. He goes out the dressing room, and for whatever reason, he went to his own dressing room and he came back with a guitar and started wielding it like an axe, and I'm kidding. And I make light of it because it's kind of, it's kind of what I do, but it was just a real unnecessary violent act, and he's swinging this guitar around, and he kind of, he nearly took my face off with it, and it ended up on the floor, and I put it out of its misery, and then I said, well, look, there was people who were in the band not saying anything, kind of looking the other way. It wasn't even a big dressing room, do you know what I mean? We were all involved in it, and nobody was saying anything. So I was like, you know what? I'm out of here.
What followed was over a decade of bitter exchanges. Their rock and roll swagger turned into an intense and very public feud. Noel often criticised Liam's behaviour during interviews, while Liam took to social media, particularly Twitter, now X, to mock his older brother at every chance he got.
But me and our kid had some mega times. I'm not having, just because we split up, that was only a little bit, you know what I mean? If you're gonna slice it all open into pieces and that, like, we got on we got 80% on 80% of the time, you know what I mean? It's just, but when we didn't get on, it was full on.
So before Oasis happened,
Yeah.
what would you say the sort of percentage of peace to war was compared to as brother? It happens with siblings, doesn't it? Of course it does.
Before we got in a band, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't. No, I don't think we really see much of each other. I mean, we just sort of brothers and that. But even in Oasis, we got on. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when we were in each other's pockets and that, we had some good times. You know what I mean? It was like, and obviously with the booze and the drugs and stuff, and then the egos get involved, and then money gets involved. It's a recipe for disaster. So I think we held out pretty good. You know what I mean? But no, it was all right, man.
You always talk about him with such fond affection. You do?
No, of course, man. I love him, but he does me in him as well.
Right.
Because we shouldn't have split up, and we should be making music.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? All that time wasted over just little bits, and people will go, "Oh, you slagged his missus off. He slagged mine." It was plenty of back and forth. You know what I mean? So don't be making out it was just me. You know what I mean?
We broke up because of, you know, a lot of a perfect storm of little things, and once it was done, and that's it. There's no way what I do, or even what I did in Oasis was. No, it was me and the other fella. You know, and I wouldn't have got anywhere without him, and he wouldn't have got anywhere without me. You know, and now we're doing our separate things, or he's doing my thing and I'm doing my thing too. That's I don't ever think about it. I genuinely don't think about it.
After more than a decade of sibling rivalry, however, and on the cusp of the 30th anniversary of Definitely Maybe, Noel Gallagher returned to Manchester for an interview with musician and journalist John Robb to discuss their debut album. Remarkably, during the conversation, Noel had kind words for his brother's vocal performance, offering a metaphor that only he could come up with.
If songs were drinks, right, Liam's is a shot of tequila, right, and mine's half a Guinness. Right, mine's half a Guinness on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's all right. Liam's is 10 shots of tequila on a Friday night.
And you should never mix those two.
No.
He went on to summarise what made Liam so captivating to a young generation hungry for their own Beatlemania experience. What he did was inspire the kids at the front to do something. Do you know what I mean? If he can do it, I can do it. And he's still doing that now. Liam would return the favour, dedicating half the world away to his brother whilst performing on the final night of Reading Festival 2024. Then came a story from The Times with the headline, Oasis reunion and Wembley gigs next year, is that definitely maybe? The article suggested that the brothers had settled their differences and would play massive concerts in London and Manchester in 2025. When the story was shared on X, Liam would then reply to a comment saying, "See you down the front, you big," which sent fans into a fever pitch. The most telling moment came, however, when Liam, Noel and the official Oasis account simultaneously posted the following cryptic video using the band's iconic typeface and border. It simply said a date, 27th of August 2024, and a time, 8 a.m. Then in a moment that would live forever for Oasis fans all around the world, a post announced the brothers' reunion, along with initial dates for a UK and Ireland tour in 2025. This was quickly followed by a photo fans have been waiting 15 years to see. Liam and Noel Gallagher again with the tour titled Oasis Live 25, which was then conclusively accompanied by the following statement. The guns have fallen silent, the stars have aligned. The great wait is over, come see, it will not be televised. Biblical. For more information about Oasis Live 25, head to the band's official website. For Virgin Radio, I've been Maddie Hale, and I'm absolutely mad for it.
Virgin Radio.